Righto, just going to show you a few things I've bought and a few little tricks I've learned off some other videos. First thing, one of my bosses showed me these swivels, crane swivels. They're better than those other three-way ones because they let your line float around that way more freely. Just like them. You can get them up to any weight. These are £80, but whatever. Got some 100-pound supple trace. Got to be supple because it's just easier to tie knots with. And I've got some other trace which is like £80, so just a little bit lighter. I've got Lumo tube, 3mm. Get it from BCF for like $3 or $4. You get, how much is that? Yeah, a couple of meters of it. Show you what that's for in a minute. I've got some 8/0 hooks, just like normal sort of snapper hooks. That's them. Swivel clip, just for your sinker to go onto. Rolling swivels. That's to connect your leader from your rig onto your main line. And last one, these owner circle hooks. Pretty mean, so I should do something pretty good, I reckon. Start off. Righto. Oh, and I got these scissors as well from BCF for like $20. And they're wicked, real solid. They spring open. They've got a wire cutter on them. They've got a little clip, hold a time onto whatever. They're pretty good. So, I'm gonna take, I don't know, what would be 2 foot of 100-pound. Just snip it off. And then we're going to get our circle hook. Hopefully this comes up to you. It's not too hard because it's in reverse. Like I'm looking at it and you're looking at it from behind. Anyway, come through the back of the hook and run. Or you can go through the back or the front, whatever. I'll just run it through there, the inside. So that's straight through the eye of the hook, and then what we're going to do is pinch the line onto the hook and wrap it around it 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you'll have something that looks like that, right? And then just pinch it and push the tail up towards the eyelet so it makes that hole a little bit looser. Don't know if you can see that. And then you're going to take your tag end or your long end and push it back through there, back underneath the line and through the eyelet. And then you're just going to pull it tight. And it'll start to come together like that. And then before you pull it really tight, a bit of spit. And that's, yeah. And that's a fucking strong knot. It's like a tuna fishing knot. Professionals use it and stuff. So it's a good one. And then we've got the Lumo tube. It's going to cut a little bit off it, like, I don't know, what's that, 5-8 centimeters, and thread it over your leader. So it comes down to the eye of your hook. This is a bit fiddly, but we'll get there. Bit of spit, and just work that tube over the eye of the hook. And This can be a bit of a pain, but when it gets there, it's good. I won't waste my time on that too much. I've already made one. Anyway, you work the Lumo tube over it, and it looks something like that. Pretty neat. And the Lumo tube glows in the dark, so it's good. You know, any deep water fish will see it better because the sunlight absorbs into it, and it protects your knot, and it protects your leader from the teeth or mouth or whatever. And it acts as a spacer for your next hook, and then just slide another hook on. One of these sort of cheaper ones, and then you've got that. So that's a snelled knot, and then you've got your Lumo tube and another hook, and you can adjust the length depending on what bait you're using, so pilchards or anything like that. You can tie this knot that we tied on the bottom to that next hook if you want, and fix it in place if you're using squid or something. But yeah, that's it. Okay, on to the next bit. Just had a little break there. So we've got our 3-way crane swivel, and it's got two different size eyelets, but it's got a big one, which that's gonna be the top. Well, it's gonna be facing upwards in the water. Does that make sense? And then your one that comes off the side is obviously gonna have your hooks attached to it, and then the bottom is gonna be the lighter line with your sinker on it. So anyway, I'll attach these hooks to the swivel. Show you this new knot that I learnt. It's good for heavy line. It's really easy to tie. Sometimes you find that heavy lines are prick to tie knots with, but this is a good one for it. So anyway, straight through the eyelet of the swivel, obviously, and you're just going to pinch it into like a V shape, and then you're going to go around the back, and you're going to make a loop around the line. So that's like that. Oops, sorry. Loop. So you got one loop around the back, and you're going to go 2 loops around the back. So you got 2 loops there, and then you just feed your tag back through. If I can fucking get it, back through both of them. So it's going to look like that. Pull it tight. Bit of spit, like you should do with all your knots, obviously. And then, yeah, pull it tight. And that, neaten it up a bit. Nice and small, nice and neat. Apparently they're really strong. I haven't had any break, and I've hooked, a couple of sharks, some fucking big stingrays and stuff in the last couple of weeks, and that's worked for me. So yeah, seems pretty good. And we're going to use that on the next 2 connections as well, that same knot. So that's going to go, the next bit. Alright, the next video will be pretty much the full rig, and so it looks like. Finish the rig. So swivel to main line using the same knot, 100 pound, same as your hooks. Comes up to your 3-way onto your big eyelet, and then off the dropper comes your hooks, and then off the bottom of this is your sinker, and you can make that any length you want, but definitely try and make sure it's longer than your hooks, because you don't want your hooks getting snagged. If your sinker gets snagged, give it a yank, it'll probably pull free, but if your hooks get snagged, there goes your rig. So, you want to avoid that, obviously. few things, little things about this. Notice that all my swivels are black, including the sinker one. And I've been told by my bosses, these guys have been going to Steve Point for like 20 years and stuff, use black swivels for everything, because if you use the brass ones, especially on trolling rigs and balloon rigs, mackerel travel in schools, so where there's one, there'll usually be like, a couple, or there could be 20 or 30. And if you hook one and then its mates are around and it sees the brass swivel flopping around in the water and its mates struggling, it'll think that it might not know it's hooked, but it'll think it's a feed. So anything shiny, they'll just hit it and they'll just cut you off straight away. So yeah, black swivel's harder for them to see. What else? Your line that comes off to your sinker, try and make it probably a bit heavier than your main line, but lighter than your leader for your hooks. So this is 80 pounds just for a bit of abrasion resistance, but you don't want it heavier or the same weight as your hooks, because I found out the hard way, if you get a fish on and he takes off and the sinker does get stuck, there's a good chance the knot will snap to your hooks instead of the sinker, and you'll be left with your sinker and no hooks. You reel your rig back in and the fish will be gone, and you'll still have your sinker because it was the same weight. So yeah, that's about it. And then I've got, where are they? These like pool noodle things, and cut a heap of slices in them. Fit like 10 or 20 on it if you want. And then get your rig. Hook's going last. Slot it through one of the slits. Wrap it around. So it's just gone around and around and around. Then you can hook your hooks in there. That'll work. And there's your rig all neatly wrapped up, and you can fit like 10 or however many you want in there. And then when you lose one, you can just unwrap it, chuck it on, bang, away you go. So that's it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make up about 20 or 30 of them, maybe. All different sorts though, different hooks and other ones. So yeah, that's it.